Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I am Adam McKola. He is Laurie Whitwell. We are back for Talking United with The Athletic. He is from The Athletic and you of course can get The Athletic. And then we've got a cheeky little bargain for you. 7-day free trial, 50% off the annual subscription. The link is in the description below and you get no clickbait, the best articles from the best journalists covering football, the Premier League, Manchester United, everything in between, NFL, MMA, boxing, everything covered there. I was even reading a great article on the Spence Porter fight as well. So if you like your boxing, you'll love The Athletic. We are here with Laurie the day after Manchester United won, Arsenal won. We'll obviously reflect on that a little bit, but we want to talk about Marcus Rashford because you've got an article out on Marcus Rashford today. And we don't want you to spoil the article too much. We don't want any spoilers. But what is the main theme of the article?
It's kind of a look at where he's at right now. Obviously, 21, has been playing for a number of years. Currently starting at centre forward because of Anthony Martial's injury, but questioning really whether that's his best position, where he does his best work from. Obviously, Mourinho and Southgate have made comments previously about whether or not he does his best stuff on the left flank or whether he can actually play a centre forward.
What was it that Gareth Southgate described him as?
Could have been a wide ranger.
That's the one.
Yeah, and he wondered whether he was happiest at centre forward. And another person with sort of information told me that they are working on sort of his ability holding up the ball, because obviously that's what Harry Kane has got. That's what sort of centre forwards typically can have as well, because then it just offers the defence something else to think about rather than just always sort of running in behind. And to be fair, he did do bits of that last night. You know, he came deep. For Pereira's chance, he was the one that sort of tried that through ball that ended up working out, and Pereira took it on. That was you know, towards the halfway line. So he was coming deep to link play, but there's probably not that out ball of a long ball where he can kind of chest it and bring others into play. It's more the long ball where he's chasing it, and as we saw sort of last night, the two chances that he had from Pogba in those situations, he didn't really seize properly.
He does seem to be tensing up when he gets chances. We've seen it with West Ham. We cut him from the left, threw on goal, and he allowed Declan Rice. Now I know Declan Rice is a half-decent player apparently, but he got back to cover, and you know Rashford should be getting a shot away at the very least. He goes through against Arsenal. I'm thinking Anthony Martial goes through in that position, probably scoring. Marcus Rashford seemed to like just delay everything and hope that he got a penalty. Do you think it's just a confidence thing with him? Do you think he's just can't play centre forward and he's maybe more of a wide man? What is it with Marcus Rashford? Because we've seen him score goals. It's just that when he thinks about it, he seems to tense up. Yeah,
quite possibly. I mean, weirdly, that was obviously the situation where he checked back inside against Kurt Zouma, won the penalty, and then Mourinho came out and said that's the one thing everybody knows about Marcus Rashford, you know, that he checks back inside. And I wonder if that, in a weird way, I mean, I don't know how much...
Exposed him a little bit.
Well, maybe it's just something to think about. I don't know, maybe in a small way, sort of half thought about it and thought, actually, no, I can take a shot with my left, but then he didn't look confident, and I did the stats, and I think he's only scored 4 goals with his left foot in his career, 55 out of 55 goals for club and country. So it's obviously an area that you could think would be improved upon, you know, as a striker.
Because this is a player that came through, and you think about everything that he did. He scored on most of his debuts, Premier League debut, Europa League debut, England debut, this, that, the other. Goals seem to come very easily to him, and now it seems to be the furthest thing away from him. He has scored 3 goals this season, but 2 of them have been penalties. So do you think it's just one of those things where a young player goes through a sticky patch where they find things a little bit difficult and they've just got to kind of, you know, see it out, man up a little bit, and they'll get better? Or do you think it's something where he maybe not be as good as United and some United fans think?
It's a tough call because you don't know, do you? Because he came through in such an explosive manner, and you know that sort of youthful enthusiasm that he had, no fear, you know, taking everything on. You know, the more games you play, the more mistakes happen, and then that then affects maybe what you'll do. So that brings that hesitancy occasionally, I suppose. Although I did look at Harry Kane and Cristiano Ronaldo at the same age, and obviously Rashford's outperforming them. Harry Kane's certainly by a long way, but this was the season that they both had their sort of breakthrough, you know, at 21, turning 22.
I said at the start of the season that this was going to be the year Rashford and Martial had 06-07 Rooney Ronaldo, where they really came to the forefront. And the season started off and they were both got goals, and I was thinking, oh, I could be right here, and it's kind of fallen away. Now obviously they can still grasp things again, and Martial's still yet to come back into the frame. But do you think maybe his the pressure that he's under at the moment, Ali needs to just help him a little bit and maybe pull him out, or because he could get burnt out. We're looking at him, and he's a player that's playing through injury, playing most weeks. You know, we've seen with Rooney that he played from such a young age and he just got burnt out towards. Do we need to manage him a little bit better as well?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, obviously, you know, he came off against West Ham with a groin injury that everyone thought would keep him out of the Arsenal game. And obviously, Solskjaer suggested on Friday that it was he wouldn't put his life on it, he said, so kind of suggesting that, you know, it wasn't likely. But then he plays, recovery, so obviously great in that sense, but you do wonder exactly how fit he is. Solskjaer said he was fully fit, so you've got to take him at his word. But I wonder if he's then going to go play for England, you know, in the international break. I wonder if that's a chance maybe to have a little bit of a break. I don't know if he'd agree with that, but there is that concern. But then again, who else do they bring in at this particular point?
Mason Greenwood's there, look, and Ollie said Mason Greenwood, regardless of age, you know, you can get an opportunity here. So surely perfect opportunity to play Mason Greenwood in his natural position through the middle. Then forcing Rashford, that's just coming back from a muscle injury as well, that we've seen quite a few of in this United side. Sure, like, is he that keen on just holding Greenwood back a little bit and protecting him a little bit, that he's maybe, you know, pushing Rashford? I'm not under the bus, but you know what I mean. Like, he's not allowing Rashford that breather away from the team.
Yeah, well, I suppose, you know, he's 17, turning 18 now, isn't he, today? But I suppose he does need to manage a player like that. You don't want to really push him into a meaty game like Arsenal if you can avoid it. Ideally, you know, send him on as a substitute, try and win the game at the end. Maybe I totally take that point. We are also only 2 months into a season, so you do sort of think about needing a rest at this particular stage. Albeit, I guess, you know, he's had a lot of years of continual play. Obviously, Fergie used to sort of give players little holidays during the season, didn't he, individual, and rotate it like that. So I wonder if that might be something on the horizon for him. Just, as you say, just to kind of really recharge the battery, because it does, I don't know, it just seems at the moment he's not quite
I think it's
full.
Mental fatigue more than anything.
It could be, actually, yeah, to be fair.
Because the recent international break, he didn't play. I think he came off the bench a few times.
Yeah.
So he did get a break.
Well, I think also I made the point that, you know, for the goal, for McTominay's goal, Rashford was brilliant, really, because he actually started as the deepest United player, and then sort of noted when the ball was about to break, stayed in position until it definitely was, and then when James headed it to Pereira, he was like, right, I'm off, and overtook Callum Chambers, Torreira and Granit Xhaka. And sprinted basically 100 yards at full pelt, and obviously the ball doesn't come to him, but he managed to keep his composure, turn it back. I think it's meant for Pogba, isn't it? But then McTominay sees it and scores a screamer. So I think that contribution, and he was pressing. You know, he was doing a lot of running. So maybe you're right. Actually, maybe it's more a mental thing than a physical.
Now I read a stat which was that, I know it's early in the season, so these stats don't mean much, and you kind of got to look at the defensive performances, but only 2 teams have conceded more than Manchester United in the Premier League so far this season. Now, I saw a comment which said that kind of shows that we're maybe just 2 or 3 signings away from actually, you know, seeing the kind of football Ollie wants to play. Do you think we are seeing that lack of activity really affecting Ollie in a transfer window, affecting Ollie at the moment? Because we've not got that creativity in midfield, and when the injuries to Martial and Pogba have come, we've seen, you know, we're suffering for goals.
I think certainly, ideally, they would have had another striker come in. Obviously, I've made the point this week that Mandzukic is on the horizon in January, that potentially going to go back for that.
That was an exclusive, right?
I tried to
Cheeky
be
little
exclusive. Yeah, I
exclusive.
tried to be. It came from a few different places, and it seemed like it was very close in the summer, and they've definitely got plans to try and go back in for him. Obviously, the landscape kind of changed in that intervening period, but it just seems like a deal that they've already worked on quite hard. Seems like it could get completed, and you look at the structure and think, well, listen, if they can do an easy one, they probably will. And the fact that he definitely needs a striker, at least, you know, one in the window, just as an option, a short-term deal, I think it would make sense to me. I know he's old, you know, 34 next May, but he has performed at the highest level, you know, Bayern.
And tactically,
Juve.
he's very good as well, because
Yeah,
even if he
smart.
may not get you goals, tactically can do a job even out wide, through the middle. Like, he can come into play. I think in the bigger games, he'd be very...
Oh, well, he scored in the World Cup final, he scored in 2 Champions League finals with that overhead kick against Real as well.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, so he can do the business. I'm not going to get crazy about it. It's not, the game changer that, United fans would hope for, but equally, it seems like a low-cost option to bring something else.
Could it be a shrewd move like Henrik Larsson, when Henrik Larsson was a short-term kind of period?
Yeah.
Zlatan even like that kind of figurehead to come in and just lead?
I think, well, six to 18 months is what I was sort of told as a potential sort of contract length, just depends on how the talks go, I suppose. But he's definitely not going to be someone that United are starting every week. He's going to be an impact sub maybe, or an option as in a different style of match that Ollie has, because as you say at the moment they don't have a different style of attacker, which obviously you want. You look at City, they obviously have very similar attackers.
Oh mate, don't remind me. I know
I'm sorry, it's not really a fair comparison, is it? But they haven't got a big target man, so you don't necessarily need it if your plan A is really good. But obviously United's plan A isn't there yet, so as an option I think it's a pretty shrewd move.
Now last time on Talking United with the Athletic, you said to me regarding Ollie that it was his decision not to get extra players in the summer. Now, I didn't ask you this at the time, but it kind of came to me after, like, that sounds to me like a manager that is fully convinced he's got the time to get through this season and get to that transfer window. Because I don't think you take that risk if you're not confident in that. Now, I kind of do feel that's results permitting still. How is it from within the club? Because like we hear rumours of Fergie nearly getting sacked, but then people that were at the club will say that was never going to happen. We always knew what he was doing behind the scenes. Is that a similar scenario with Ollie at the moment?
That is the suggestion.
Or are there some concerns?
Yeah, no, you have to take United at face value there, I think, because if they change the manager again now, I mean, what good will that do really in reality? I don't really see. I know people talk about Pochettino, but he's not having a great time at Spurs at the moment, and clearly he's got the pedigree from what he's done historically. But I don't know if him going into that situation would actually improve anything. Solskjaer's obviously gone in and changed a lot of things culturally, sort of each week almost. He's got rid of players that he didn't think wanted to be there. And as you say, without necessarily thinking of himself there, because he could equally have said, actually, no, I want Sanchez to stay because he could come on.
It's kind of what we saw Jose doing with the likes of Darmian and stuff, where
just keeping them around, just in case, basically. Solskjaer's gone, well, actually, no, I'll ship you out. The squad morale will be better, and it gives a chance to younger players to come through, and the harmony of the squad will be improved as well. So I actually applaud him for doing that.
It is ballsy, isn't it?
It's ballsy, yeah, and obviously he feels like he's got the backing of the chairman. Obviously, Ed Woodward came out and said, patience, we know what he's doing, he's got time. And if everyone kind of accepts that, then you have to say, fair enough, and just ride with it. Because the performances, he said last night, Solskjaer, he thinks there's actually been sort of 6 sort of good performances, and obviously the one at West Ham was not good, but and obviously the results haven't been good, so that's what people focus on. But he's seen things in the performances that are sort of positive. So I don't mind that. I quite like that he has a positive mentality to it all, because if you kind of at this stage of the season thinking negatively and saying, I didn't get my way in the summer, then
I think it's okay to be like that behind closed doors, maybe to Mickey feeling or whatever, but to do it publicly, obviously, it destroys a lot of confidence in your players. The reason I ask you that is just because, like, I see what Ollie's trying to do, and I applaud what he's doing with the squad. I think all us Manchester United fans agreed that this needed to happen. We needed to get rid of a lot of players. Unfortunately, we never got enough in. And I can see what he's trying to do with the squad and everything like that. But tactically at times, I find myself questioning, like, what is he trying to do? But then I question myself by saying, has he got the players he wants in every position? And I think you see other managers that have taken jobs and been successful. They've kind of had that first 12 to 18 months where things were going wrong. Even Pep in his early months, I remember people calling for his head as well and things like that. Now, I'm not saying Ollie is anywhere near that at this moment in time, but I kind of find myself questioning him at times and then thinking, but making excuses for him, but he hasn't got this or he hasn't at the time. So it's a difficult one for him, and he's going to have to manage expectation, get results, and also manage this squad. And we're dealing with a squad that is pretty much paper thin at the moment. So it's going to be a long season.
I think in hindsight, obviously, ideally...
Are the club prepared for that?
They say they are, so you have to...
Because that investor call seemed to sound like it, because they kept talking about how
Yeah.
academy and
Yeah.
we've made signings that are going to be...
They've obviously splurged a load of money previously with Mourinho. It hasn't worked, so they need to go this way and they need to back it. And also, I think they obviously should have got more players in the summer, a creative midfielder or obviously a striker. Solskjaer basically said, I want my number ones. If I can't get them, then there's no point in getting number 2s and 3s because we've done that before, and that's basically where you end up finishing, off the pace. Let's get the guys that we want. He wanted to focus on defence and make sure that it was solid as a base. Obviously, that means that then the creative, the offence isn't as I don't know, devastating as it could be. But he felt like that was the right way to proceed, in terms of what United had done previously for title-winning success. So yeah, when you hear him speak as well, I think he always gives coherent answers. He gives pretty honest answers. He rarely sort of criticises, other people for what's happening. He does take things on board, and he gives pretty insightful tactical stuff, I think. So I think he's a guy that obviously loves United and wants the club to do the best it can.
I think that's a major concern for somebody that we don't see that tactical. I think when he first came in, we saw like he changed up tactically little things.
And the Spurs game away was good.
Yeah, nowadays, more recently, we're not really seeing that. We're seeing a Paul Pogba that's very deep. And I feel like he's kind of maybe gone to play it safe, kind of, when we don't need to. But then in his post-match presser yesterday, he was saying he wasn't happy with the players, the way they were attacking. He said up until that run from Pereira in, I think, about 35th minute, we didn't really do anything, and he wanted to see more from that. So is it the players? Is it him? It's difficult to see. Do you think Ollie will get to that summer transfer window?
Yeah. Personally, I do, yeah.
See, I'm not sure. I hope he does, because that means he would have got the results to being able to get us there and everything, but I'm really not sure. Europe coming up again. How serious do United take this, do you think? Is it our best way into the Champions League?
To be honest, it looks like it doesn't really. When you think, I mean, it's 7 games in, so obviously results can turn, and clearly they want to get.
And the Europa League is 1 game in.
Yeah, good point. We've won it though, 100% success rate. I'm going to the match against Alkmaar, and again, it'll give sort of squad players a bit of a chance. I would expect to see Rojo play, and I think Rojo might even have a chance of pushing for a start in the Premier League just because of the way he's played.
I thought he should have started against Arsenal.
Well, that's maybe a consideration. The way Ashley Young played, you kind of think, well, okay, how much longer would you accept that kind of performance?
We've been accepting him for about 3 years.
He's obviously he's served the club really well.
I love him. I love Ashley Young, but as a footballer, time's time.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing Gary Neville after West Brom kind of stuff.
It's getting towards that, I think, yeah.
And I feel sorry for him. It's like with Marcus Rashford. Like, if Ollie says, Rashford, you're going to play this game, he's going to say, yeah, boss. But it's not doing him any favours. And it's like with Ashley Young, yes, he's going to try and he's going to help, but he's not doing anyone any favours at the moment. And I think we almost gain more by playing Brandon Williams or someone in his position. It's good to see Fosu Mensah's coming back now. It's going to be difficult for him with his injury, and it's a tough one to come back from. But it's a weird one with Ashley, because he's obviously highly thought of in the club and highly regarded as a person. But ultimately, it comes to a point where you've got to say, time's time. Any other little nuggets of transfer news apart from that Mandzukic exclusive? Is Latin happening?
I just can't see it. I mean, we asked Solskjaer about this. When did it first come out? A few weeks ago. And he basically, he sort of made a bit of a gag. We speak the same language. But then he then had to reiterate, no, I was joking, and it's not going to happen. I mean, listen, I suppose you never know, but
we've done worse moves.
I just think he's had his time.
I do remember me being really like, I was Latin so awful at times, but I do miss the bastardry. The snideness. Like you said, he's just in the MLS elbowing everyone.
I mean, Needham and Hoover's not a fan, is he? But
he's been scoring goals as well.
Yeah,
just the MLS.
Bradley Wright Phillips has been scoring goals for years. So
sign him up, buddy. We shouldn't say that. Ed Woodward would probably think that's a good idea. We can market him on Ian Wright everything like that. So yeah, let's keep that one between us. Anything you're working on over the weekend? Obviously, we'll get your Alkmaar reaction in the Athletic.
Yeah, so that's probably the next one. So yeah, the Rashford piece is up now, and then I'll go to Alkmaar and do a piece from there. I'm not sure about what yet.
And we got Newcastle away. Stevie Bruce's job's on the line as well.
Yeah, crazy. The story yesterday that he was obviously berating the players and then said, "I'm so disgusted with you. You're not coming into training the next day. Otherwise I'll blow my lid at you again," which seemed to kind of count.
So disgusted, have a day off.
Yeah.
Jay does that to me sometimes. Just calls me a bastard, says, have a day off. Cut that out. The Athletic don't want to be associated with people getting called that. Yeah, so if you want to check out The Athletic, the link's in the description below. Make sure you click in that. You get a 7-day free trial, 50% off your annual subscription. Great articles from the likes of Laurie. Who else is on there these days? Any new additions? Because you're always making signings.
Well, there's somebody from The Guardian that's going to be joining fairly soon. He had his last game at Old Trafford for The Guardian last night.
Oh. Ashley Young.
I think I'm allowed to say. Danny Taylor. Danny Taylor's coming.
Okay, so they've made a signing. So we've got exclusive transfer news there. And like, I was thinking to myself, why wasn't The Athletic around for the summer transfer window? It's going to be around for the January transfer window. So you want to get on it now, and you'll get exclusives like the one with Mario Mandzukic from Laurie. So keep it locked to Full Time Devils. Keep it locked to The Athletic. Make sure you're letting us know all your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure you already will be ranting and raving about Rashford and Lingard and Ali and Ashley Young and everything else. But let us know in the comments. And should we get Zlatan back? Laurie is saying 100% yes. He wants to see. We can edit that to a nod. But yeah, I want to see Zlatan back just for entertainment purposes. Thanks for watching. Keep it locked. See you later.